they can turn on their mic and speak up. So, Denithia, are you keeping track of who came in so that I know who of my volunteers? Okay, I did not check that, so I'll have to know who they are eventually so I can sign off on their hours. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Are we ready? For you participants out there, I honestly, I don't know how any teachers or students right now are doing digital learning without two screens.
I'm using one screen. I'm not using two.
Oh my goodness. Like, you know, you got to be able to like manage your chat on one and do what you're doing on another. But like for students, if I'm given instruction, you would want to see what the person's instructing on one screen and then do it on the other. But you could also split screen, but with small screens. That would be, I guess, a little difficult too. So I don't know, you know, sometimes if you can log in on your, you know, go to Zoom on your phone and watch it and then, but if not, then you can go back and forth between. I do have the PDF, so you could follow along with that too, and maybe even just listening to me will help. But so we'll get through this pandemic, right? I just can't wait for us to be able to do this in person again.
I know. I saw your pictures yesterday and I was like, oh my God, I miss us being together.
You're right. Oh my gosh, that was
yeah,
good
I was
turnout.
like, oh gosh, it got me really good yesterday.
So we actually need to go to the domain arcade.makecode.com because that's the actual platform of the editor that we're going to use. And
one of your volunteers put it in the chat.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
arcade.makecode.com. So I think mine automatically came up to this screen, but I think that y'all's you would end up with a screen like this, and you would have this little orange button that says new project. So we're going to start with a brand new project. I've got some others in here that I've been playing around with. And you don't have to log in. I'm still honestly trying to figure out how this actually works because it saves all my stuff on my browser, but I've never actually created a login for this website. So, but my stuff is still here. But you can share it when you're done today. So give your project a name. Now, I'm just going to give you a preview of what my project does so that you can see. And when you see what it does, I want you to know that I used a duck, a fish, and a shark. You don't have to use those particular ones, so you might want to call this something different based on what characters you're going to use. But for now, you could just call it, you know, my arcade game, my first arcade game, or whatever you want to call it, which we'll do. But this is, right now, I'm just going to preview. This better not be this slow the whole time. There is nobody in my house using the internet. I think I am convinced it's my computer because it's been doing this at school too.
It's okay, just breathe.
I'm just like, why? Why would it do this now? Okay. So we're actually not going to use functions. But all right, so it's already playing. Let me stop it. When I press play, what's happening is I have a duck, and the duck is trying to get some fish, but then there's a shark that the duck's got to avoid. And there's a 30-second timer, so the duck has to try to get as many fish as he can, and you'll see up in the top right corner where he's scoring points, and he's got a 30-second timer to get as many points as he can. But over here on the left is your lives, these little hearts. These are your lives. You have 3 lives. So you have to avoid the shark. Every time that the shark and the duck meet, you will lose a life. So 30 seconds to get as many points as you can without losing all your lives. That's basically it. So when I walk you through this, I'm going to choose the duck as my player and the fish as my food and the shark as the enemy. But when you make yours, you can choose whichever you want, or you can come back later and you can change those if you don't like them the way they are. So that's basically what this is going to look like. And the buttons that we're going to use, we're not even going to use the A and the B. We're just going to use up, down, left, and right arrows. And so I'll demonstrate if this works for me. So my duck is going to try and get this fish. And every time he catches one fish, the fish moves to a random location each time. And the shark is coming in from the right side and going to the left. And the shark comes in at random places each time he comes through. So you don't know exactly where the shark's going to be. And I've got 3 seconds left. Let's see if I can get one more. And I got 10, and my high score was a 10. So that's what we're going to be making today. And so I'm going to go back to home and show you how we're going to start. Click on, when you go to arcade.makecode.com, you're going to click on the orange new project. Let's just call this my first arcade game. Also, you're going to see me doing this with block coding, but this platform will allow you to take your block coding and just switch it to JavaScript so you can see what the code looks like behind the scenes. We won't work with the JavaScript, we will just use the blocks. And every time you start a new project, it has a default on-start block provided for you. And that on-start block is what is needed to create all the commands to get the game going. So as soon as you click on the run button, it starts in the on-start block. So first we're going to set up our player. And again, my player was a duck. And so, yeah, so your sprites, the little characters that were moving around, your duck, your fish, your shark, whatever you just saw on my screen, those are called, we're going to call those sprites. And so first we have to create a new sprite to create our player. So we're going to create our player first. So you click on sprites, and I need to get rid of these videos, they're in my way. We're going to click on the sprites in the menu, and then we're going to pick the first block to create a sprite. You're going to click it, hold it down, or you can just drag it over, put it into the on-start block. And I just want to make sure, because that first part of having to drag your first block in, sometimes that may take a little second to make sure you figure out how to get that in there. If you're using a touchscreen mouse pad, I'm not sure. I always have to use a regular mouse, so just want to make sure that everybody's able to get that block in there just fine before I go, because you will be dragging a lot of blocks like that. So once you do that, we're going to go ahead and give this sprite, well, let's go choose our sprite first, actually, because deciding what you want your player to be, let me back up, what you want your player to be is going to determine what you want to call it. How do I go back? Okay, all right, so sorry. If you click on the gray box right here, then it takes you to the screen. And this one right here, what it defaults to, this editor, you could actually create your own little image of something that you want to make. It's not very high resolution, so if you did try this, it's going to be very limited as to how much detail you could make of yours. So we're just going to go to the gallery and pick some that are already available. And if you wanted to, you could make the taco your player. You could make whatever you want. You could make these Mario looking type characters as your player. You got these little prince, I don't know, I can't remember what these characters are, but there's lots of different sprites here that you could choose. I'm just going to go and choose the first duck as my player. So my duck is going to be my player. So I click on him and it puts it in that editor, and I'm just going to click on done. So now you see that my first character is going to be a duck, And so now that I've picked him, I'm going to actually give him a name that's more meaningful to me instead of leaving it called My Sprite. So I'm going to go click on that first combo box and click on Rename. And I'm going to call him Duck. And click OK. And now he's in the center of the screen. He is a player. So over here on the of kind, you've got different ones. You have player, projectile. We won't be looking at projectile today, but food and enemy, we will be using player, food, and enemy. And the reason why you want to define what kind of sprite it is because they have some controls here that can determine, like, if a player meets a food, what happens? If a player meets an enemy, what happens? So we want to specify that this one is a player. And then we are going to now set his location, which I think we're going to keep him in the center anyway. But to set his location, we also go back to the sprites because this is a property of the sprite. So we go back to the sprites menu, and you need to choose set my sprite position to XY. So go to sprites and then look for in the menu, it's not too far down, it's the third one down, set my sprite position, and you're going to select that block and drag it. So first we had to create our sprite, and then we had to set its position. So I don't want him to start at 0. Oh, wait, first let's change this here to the duck because I'm trying to actually set the location of the one I just created. So in here, I want to choose my duck. Now I want you to notice that the position is default to X is at 0 and Y is at 0.
Miss Becky, can you slow down a little bit?
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, so are we good on getting the sprite in there? So once you have gotten that first block, you go to sprites and you get that first block to create a sprite. And then need that to go away. You click on this, it was gray, and then you go in there, you got to click on gallery. And when you click on gallery, you have a lot of options you can choose for your player. So you scroll down and you pick one, and then it shows up in that editor, and you have to click on the green done button. The other thing that you wanted to change in that was you want the name of your sprite, your little player object, you want him to have a name that is meaningful instead of just leaving it as my sprite. So I went to rename variable, and I changed him to duck. Okay, so once you have created your duck, by default, when you just create one, he shows up in the very center of the screen. But I'm going to specify his position, which now thinking about it, I probably could have just left him at the center because that was actually where I need him in the first place. But because I went to sprites and I wanted to set his position, so when you go to sprites and you've got the third one down, set my sprite position, you're going to see that now it's got him at 0, 0. Now, what you have to know about programming in games, it is the X and Y values are not the same as you would have if you've learned how to graph on a Cartesian coordinate plane. Then you know that the 0, 0 is in the center, and then you have Y gets positive as it goes up and Y gets negative as it goes down. That's not how programming works. In the programming world, we have 0, 0 over here, and then I'm trying to remember the screen size. So the width of the screen is 160 pixels across, and then 120 pixels down. So if I want him to be in the center, I do half of 160, and I'm going to put him at an X coordinate of 80 to put him halfway. across the screen. And I've got this little slider that I can see that, where it is. I can kind of judge it, but if I want it to be exact, I know that the height of the screen, it goes from 0 at the top to 120 at the bottom. So half of 120 would be 60. So I'm actually going to type a 60 in there. So that's going to put him at the very center of my screen every time the game starts. Actually, I think that it is a good thing that we did put this set position in now, because when you restart the game, the duck may end up where he was last time. So by putting this position at 80, 60, it's always going to restart him at the very center of the screen. Are we good?
Put a yes in your window if you're good, please. A thumbs up or something.
Good.
Thank you, Sydney. Oh, we have one that needs help. Ayana, what do you need help with?
You can turn on your mic if you want to for a second.
How do you put the set control thingy in?
Okay, so you go to the menu where it says sprites, and then you find the block that says set my sprite position. You need that block. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, lots of yeses. This is good. Okay. Okay, so there's another block that we need so that when this game is updating, and this is a block that actually, as the game is being played, it's constantly updating. And I'm not sure with make code how often, but sometimes they're like 30 frames per second, it refreshes. Some of them are 60 frames per second. I'm not sure what this one is, but basically it's refreshing the screen every, a certain number of times per second. You don't see this, but it is happening. So this little purple block, I'm going to go, sorry, I didn't even say what I was doing. Click on the game in the menu, click on game, the purple word game. And you need to grab that first block. This is on game update. This is basically a loop that is constantly looping all the time throughout the game. So we need to drag that just on any empty spot, because it doesn't have like a puzzle piece to link inside this on start. So this is like its own outer shell. And then inside of this one, we're going to have it checking to see if the user is pressing the up, down, left arrow keys. So we can move our duck around the screen. So it's going to be constantly, as the game is playing, it's checking to see if one of those keys has been pressed. And you hear me saying, if the key has been pressed. So if you've ever done any programming, you might have heard of if statements, if else statements. Those are logic. So we need to go to the blue logic in the menu. A little bit further down, look for, it's in light blue color, and it's called logic. In there, we are going to choose the second block that is if else. If true, then, and it's got an else. We need that block because, and we're going to put it into the game update so that as the game is continuously updating, it's going to check to see if an up arrow has been pressed, a down arrow, a left arrow, a right arrow. It's going to be constantly checking to see if any of those arrows have been pressed. And if they have, it's going to move the duck. Okay, we good. All right. So this is where things are going to get a little tricky. Stay with me. The controller menu is where you have, if you look, it's got that little picture that looks like a little game controller. So remember, our left arrow, left, up, down, right arrows are in the controller. So if we want to access, those, then we're going to go into the controller menu. And I want to check to see if a button is pressed. So when you go to the controller menu, look for the block that says is, and right now it says A. button pressed. We can, it's got a drop down where we can choose all kinds of different buttons, but we're going to drag that block right in here into that if statement. So I want you to notice there is a red dot on the left of that block. And when you bring it in, you should see the red dot right after the if so that you know exactly where you're dragging it into. When you see those two red dots where you want to put it, then you can let go and it's going to put it in there. So the first one we're going to program is the left button. So I'm going to click on that combo box where the A is. You see there's an arrow next to the A. I want to change that to left. Okay. If the left button is pressed, okay. So if you've learned anything about a graph in math, you know that X and Y, or you have X and Y values, and the X moves, is going left and right on the Cartesian coordinate plane, and Y is going up and down. So to move him left, we need to change his X value. Every time the left arrow key is pressed, we want his X value to change. So we are going to, let's see, where was this? Change, that is in the sprite. Okay, so what we're doing when the left arrow key is pressed, we're changing the position of the sprite. So therefore we have to go to the sprites menu to find some of its controls. So we're going to go to sprite and go down to in the physics section, because it's the physical location and movement of him. We're going to change my sprite, and right now it says X by 0. Okay, so let's go get that block. Sprites menu, change my sprite, X by. Okay, we're going to drag him into that block right underneath that if is left button pressed, then drop that block, change. Now I'm curious, do we want my sprite, see where it says my sprite, to change his X value? What, somebody put in the chat, what would I need that to say? If I want my duck to move, what should I change it to? Duck, yes, very good guys. All right, so I want to change that, my duck. I don't want just any old my sprite, because I haven't actually defined a my sprite. I want to change my duck. So his X value is going to change. Now we're going to also have to change the Y in a minute. So for the up and downs, we'll end up having to change this combo box to a Y, but we'll do that in a minute. So right now we're going to leave that it's X. So to move him to the left, then we need to move him a negative value, because negative is going to go to the left. And I'm going to do -5, and you can play with that number, because like if you do a bigger number, he's going to move a lot faster. I'm going to use -5 as my value so that it changes him by 5 pixels every time I press the left arrow key. Okay. So we're going to repeat this 3 more times, but we're just going to duplicate these. So I want to make sure that we're good with this before I add the next ones. So we actually have to have 4 different logics controls here. Is left button pressed? Is right button pressed? Is up button pressed? And is down button pressed? So we're going to change this if block, and I need you all to watch this very carefully. So if you're not looking at my screen right now, please look at it. I need to, in this if else block, down here, there's a plus. And this is going to give me more spaces to add some logic controls. So I'm going to click on that plus, and I'm actually going to have to do it more times than I need just right now. So right now, you can see that I have 4 things, and I need 4 logic statements, left, right, up, down. So I have 4, but the problem is right now this last one doesn't have a place for me to put my check for the button. So I need to do one more. Okay, no, we'll end up having to come back and delete this last one in just a minute, but bear with me. So right now you should have your on game update. We have if is left button pressed, change duck x by -5. And then you needed to click on that plus button 1, 2, 3 more times so that it looks like this. I want you to go back up here to the orange is left button pressed. And I need you to right click on it. If you can figure out how to do your right click if you're not using a regular mouse. I know like on my Chromebook, I have to take my 2 fingers and hit that touchpad to do a right click. But you're gonna right click to get this menu on that orange block. I wanna duplicate it. Now, if you can't figure out the right click and duplicate, you could still go back into your controller menu and you can just drag another one over. You know, that's one way. You could drag another one over that way, or you can right click on it and duplicate. But basically we need to duplicate it 3 times so that we get it for all 4 buttons. So right click, duplicate, and drag. So each of those else if needs to have that orange block. Now that we've got those, I don't need this last else. Well, I'll come back to that in a second. The 4 buttons that we're going to use, we have if left is pressed, then we need if right. So in the second orange block, let's go ahead and click on that arrow and change it to right button. In the third orange block, let's click on that arrow and change it to up button. And then the fourth one, let's click on that arrow and change it to down button. Now, we don't need this else here. We don't need anything else to happen. These are the only 4 checks we're going to be checking for. We don't need anything else. So on that last one where it just says else without the if, go to the right and click on that minus to get rid of that one. We don't need that one. Oh no, somebody's got to start over. Ayana, I guess. I hope you're able to access the PDF. Can any of my, let's see, volunteers go back and find that link and repaste it again to make sure so you can pull up the PDF if you need to. We'll probably take a break in just a minute. Once we get the duck moving around, we'll take a short little break so we can get everybody caught up. So now we're going to have him move right up and down. So we're going to duplicate that change block. Again, if you want to just drag it from the sprites menu, you could also go back to the sprites menu, physics, change, you could just drag in a new block. Or we could right click on it and duplicate it. I'm going to right click and duplicate one more time. Where did it go? Uh-oh. I thought I duplicated one, but I don't know where it went. Oh, it's way down here. I see it. Okay. Okay, so the one that I dragged a new block in, because I did not duplicate it, it actually came back as my sprite again. So I've got to go back and change that one to duck. Yay, somebody's got their duck moving already, jumping ahead. Yay, awesome. Okay, so for left and right, we want to leave it as X. But for left, we want the X to go negative. For right, we want the X to go positive. So for left, change duck X by -5. For right, change duck X by +5. But for up and down, we want to use Y. So down in the blue change box, the third blue change box, change it to a Y value. But for him to go up, it does need to be negative. Okay, now that's gonna like probably confuse some of you who are used to your regular Cartesian coordinate plane in math. The computer world's a little different. So to make him actually go up, because 0 is at the top and 120 is at the bottom. So if you need him to go up, you need your y values to get smaller. So for him to go up, you have to change the y by -5. For him to go down, he has to change his, oh, I need to change that y value by, I would change that x to a y. You should be able right now to be able to press play and move your duck around. Okay, so sometimes I have to try it twice because this is not the most perfect arcade game. I promise you there are way better platforms out there, but this one was just really easy to and simple to play around with. And I wanted something that can actually allow you to convert it to JavaScript for you people who actually want to try to learn some JavaScript. We did a project like this in my class last year, but it was in Scratch. So I took the same project and put it into MakeCode so that we could actually have a way to see the text code. So I'm pressing my keys and you can see. Now, again, if you want him to move faster, you could change that 5 to like a 10 or a 15 or something, and he will move a lot further each time. So the 5 is kind of making him look a little more real. All right, so at that point, we have successfully, and my papers are stuck together. You have successfully been able to press play and use the left, right, up, and down arrow keys to move your player around the screen. The next thing we're going to do is add food, which in mine was the fish. So do we want to take like maybe 5-minute break? This is actually going a lot faster than I thought it would. I could definitely slow down because this is definitely going faster than I thought it would. What do you think, Denithia? Should we take just a little break and let them just make sure everybody is squared away?
Yeah, just to do a temperature check to see where everyone is.
Yeah, let's just see. Does anybody need some catching up?
We can also, if you want, we can let them share their screens.
Ooh, yeah.
If they want, like raise their hand to share their screen to see, you
yeah,
know,
maybe
where they
somebody
are.
maybe somebody used a different.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Put your name in the chat.
Okay.
Sorry, Cambria, that wasn't for you. I'm trying to send it to someone else. Oh, Layla Medina wants to share hers. I see her name in the chat.
And Layla Miller.
Layla Miller, you too? Okay, Layla Medina and Layla Miller. Okay, Medina's going first.
My sprite was a tree.
Okay, explain it, Layla.
If I hit the A button, mine will go on the x-axis, it will go -4. If I hit B on the y, for the y-axis, it will go 7, +7. But if I hit up on the x-axis, it would go 9. If I hit left, it would go on the y-axis by 3.
I am curious, how are you going to remember whether to use A, B, up, and left? Does that not mess you up trying to navigate him around there?
No, because on my computer, I have it to where up, down, left, and right are like WASD on my keyboard.
All right, Layla.
So what, oh, I guess you can't choose, let's see. So you can't choose the WSD, can you, with this platform? Well, great. You definitely took your own unique style to it. I love it. Who else?
Can I go next?
Me.
Ayana is saying that her controls are gray and not blue like everyone else's.
Is
Can
my
I-
screen sharing or
Can I-
no?
Okay, hold on. The dentist hold on a second. After Layla Miller, then you guys can go. This is good, Miss Becky.
Hold on. How do you share your screen?
Oh, we got a few that want to go. Oh, good. Okay.
Is Anithia?
Let me write down these names so we can get them in the right order.
Is Anithia?
Yes.
Do you know how to share your screen?
We can't see your screen, Layla. Click on the green button.
Yeah.
And then once you click it, you'll see where it says to share screen. There should be like a window in the left-hand corner. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Click that screen and then, okay, and then click share.
Bind has display, and then after that, I click that. It says display over other apps.
Miss Becky, can you help out with that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What was the question?
Her question when she's trying to share her screen. It's, okay, there you go, Layla.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
Oh, okay. So
There you go.
I created a background. I drew it by myself, and so this is my background, and I have a character named Lucy, and the goal is to kind of like get the food. So I created the cotton candy already by myself. So when you press the up button, you go up by -3, and then when you press the down button, you go down by 3, and then when you go to the right, you go by 3, and then when you go to the left, you go by -3.
All right. So did you just
Cool.
now do this without, like, you didn't actually set up your food? I mean, you set up your background and your food already just now?
Yeah, while you were
Awesome.
talking, I was
Awesome.
drawing.
Awesome. Good job. You drew that background?
Yeah, I drew all of this.
Wow. This is awesome.
Layla, killing it. Okay, let's see. Okay, you stop sharing. Let me see who else wanted to go next. I think it was it, chat, let me go up. Down, down, down. Hold on, Amani. Let me try to, I think it was Cambria. Or the dentist. Okay. Jasmine and Brianna. Do you know how to share your screen? Do you guys know how to share your screen? There you go. You ready? Oh, I see it.
Yes. I got a monkey.
Look at that. That's cool. Okay, so who did this one, Jasmine or Brianna? Or both?
Jasmine.
Jasmine, that's cool, Jasmine. Okay, I like it. That is so cool. Thank you. Okay. Who is next? Who's after Jasmine and
I just need
Brianna?
help. It says my program has an error.
Can you share your screen? We could probably look at it and figure out what's happening.
They gonna see all those tabs.
Oh.
Okay, so after she's done sharing her screen, then Adania and then Cambria.
The screen I'm going to
Oh, I'm sorry, Cambria. Well, Cambria, then Adania.
You can take it off. How's that? There. This the one you sharing?
What happened? What happened to
I
it?
took it off. It's cool.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, it's sharing already.
Oh, what happened to the thing? Oh, there it is. It's shared. Ooh, no, it's not.
I stopped it. I don't want you to see it. So.
You're gonna have to share your screen, Ayana.
Oh, it stopped?
Yes, we only see you.
Ms. Fisher?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
See, when I click play, it says program error.
Okay, so in your if statements, all right, we got to clean up your little on-game update there. So I need you to go over to controller up at the top. Yeah, controller, and I need you to pick, go ahead and click on it. And then you see the block that says, is a button pressed? It's the third block, drag that. And put it right there after that if, yep, right there. And change the A to left.
What?
Okay, go down, do you see the plus button on that? Okay, the light blue, yes, that one. Click that 2 more times, maybe 3. Do one more time.
Press up a little bit.
Yep, move it, press it one more time. Okay, I want you to take the third change button where it says change Princess Nia X by -5. Okay,
This one?
yeah, but click on the blue, drag that block.
Where?
So click on the word change. Okay, hold that block down and drag it 2 more down. Yep, right there. Okay, and then actually move it 1 more up, sorry. Okay, now the second change, move it down 1. Go up to the second, yep, move that one down 1. And then the top one, put that one inside the first space. Okay, so just move it to the side for a second. Move the whole block out of the purple. So take that whole thing. Okay, now grab just the if. Click the if, and drag it back into. And drag that back into the purple. Okay, now click on the one that is outside of it, and drag it. Oh wait, make sure you click on. There you go. Drag that into that first blank spot under the if. Okay, now down at the bottom, you have another.
Start playing.
No, you're not done yet. You gotta change down at the bottom. All the way down. You can't see it yet. Drag that one up 2 more. Okay, now I want you to see where that last else is and you have a minus.
Yeah.
Click that minus to get rid of that one.
I don't play about this. Okay, but let me see what's
All right, now we need to mute ourselves if we're, okay. Take that, go back to controller. And I want you to drag another is a button pressed. And put it in, right there, yep. Else if, yep, and do it again for the other 2 else ifs. So controller is, yep, and one more. Okay, so for the first one you've got left, all right, on that first change it from My Sprite to Princess Nia. Okay, so you've got left, then the second one, the second orange block needs to say right.
Oh, that's right.
The third orange block needs to say up. And the last orange block needs to say down, and you've got 2 more corrections we got to make. Can anybody tell her the 2 corrections that need to be made? It's on the last 2 change, because if you're going up and down, you don't want to move X, you want to move what?
Y. She has to change her variable.
Very good. So on the last 2 change blocks, because you're going up and down, those need to be changing the Y. So whoever was wanting to try it now, whoever else was wanting to share, I want to show the next part, and we'll put y'all down. Denithia, if you remember who they were, we'll have them show when we get after the next part.
Yes, it was Cambria and it was Adania that wanted to go next.
Awesome. All right, so let's get on to the next part. We're going to add.
How do I stop sharing?
Right there.
Stop.
She got it. Right here.
Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
stop sharing.
And now I need to go back to sharing. So how do I get back to where I was? Okay, so let's share my screen. Okay, so now we are going to add another sprite. Whoops, moving too fast there. We've added our player and we've added the function to make our player move around. So back in the on start, we need to add another sprite that is going to be our food. So we're going to basically repeat the same steps like we did for the duck. So let's go back to the sprite menu and let's set another sprite. And let's drag that block, drag it, just kind of keeping things together properly. So you've got your creating your duck and then you're setting its position or whatever yours is called. So then I'm going to create another sprite and then I'm going to set its position. So let's go ahead and figure out what we want our food to be. Okay, so this one's going to be a food. You go all the way over here to the kind, it's going to be, we're going to change that to food. So go figure out, what do you want your player to be catching to earn points? That's what food is basically. So when the player catches the food, it earns a point. So go click on that gray box and then go to gallery. So we ain't got time to be all creative right now. Let's just go pick something. Maybe you actually want your tree to eat a pizza slice or something. My duck likes fish. My duck's gonna go get a fish. So I'm gonna choose a fish. Choose whatever you want. You click on it, it shows up in the editor. You could actually take that and you could change it up some if you wanted to. We ain't got time for that right now. Let's click on done. So whatever you created your food as, give it a name that makes sense. Don't just leave it as my sprite. You want it to, you know, have some meaning so that when you're playing around with your program, you remember what that one is. So I'm gonna call this my fish. Or I could say fish food or whatever. Okay. But now this guy is going to have to show up in some random place on the screen. right now he's defaulting to the center, but we don't want to know where he's going to be. We want it to be random, okay? So we still need to do a set position. So we need to go back to Sprites menu, and let's do set position. It's the third block down. So we want to do set my sprite position. Okay, drag that block right after we created it. And again, we have to change it to the one that we're trying to set its position as. And then let's see. Wait, no. Okay. So for the X and Y position, when we brought that in, it puts him again up at that top left corner, which is 0, 0. Well, we want him to show up some random location so we don't know where he's going to be. So there's a random feature in math, I believe is where the randoms are. Yes. So basically, it's going to just randomly pick some number. Now, we want it to be the X value to be somewhere between 0, which is the far left side, and 160, which is the right side. So we're going to, you could type, you know, a random between those two numbers, since you know that the width is 160. Now, when you go to math, you're going to have to scroll down a little bit until you find pick random. So we need that pick random for our X, and we are also going to need it for our Y. So you could either duplicate that block or you could go grab another, pick random. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to set your food to some random location of X and Y. But right now it's just defaulting 0 to 10 for X, 0 to 10 for Y. We need it to cover the whole screen, okay? So instead of actually typing a value for the screen width, let's actually there's actually a variable that actually stores that value for the width and the height, and that is in the scene, okay? This, in your menu, if you go down about 5 menu options, I guess that's like a gray color, it's got a little tree, it says scene, so it's the scene, it's the background scenery, right? So if you go there, we want to pick the screen width, okay? And that's basically, it's gonna, it actually knows what the screen width, so we don't have to type the number. We need that screen width to go in place of the 10
I need to use the bathroom.
on the first pick random. So that the X value of our food is gonna go somewhere between 0 and the screen width.
Miss Fisher, can you slow down a bit?
Yep. Do I need to back up and show anything?
Yes.
What? Okay, so am I still glitchy? Was that me that they were saying I was
I think
glitchy?
that was her computer. I think it may have been her computer.
Okay. So I'm looking at it on my Chromebook and like, it's not showing, I don't know why, but what I'm looking at is not actually showing my entire screen. Are y'all able to see the code very well? I don't,
Yep.
like, okay, I don't know why it's looking that weird way for me.
Thank you, Kelly.
So again, we went to sprites and we did set my sprite position. Okay, we brought that block in. So that's that blue block there. And then I had to change my sprite to be the name of my food, which in my case was fish. So these two purple pick randoms, all right? First you had a 0. Whoops, it's not allowing me to pull it out. You had a 0 and 0 for X and Y. But we needed these, separate yourselves. We needed these pick randoms because we want the food to show up in random places on the screen. So we do math and we go down and we find pick random, that block there, pick random 0 to 10 is what it's defaulted as. So we want to drag that. And you put that in here for the X. And you put another one in here for the Y. And so, oh, what happened? Slow down, computer. Actually, my mouse, I got this new mouse and it's like really fast. I need to slow it down. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, so for my pick random, so for my X values, I want it to go from 0 to the width of the screen. Okay, width goes left and right. So the width of the screen, we know it's 160 because I told you, but you don't always know that. So we want to use this variable, screen width. So I'm going to trash it and show you where I got it from. I went to scene because it's part of the scene, the width and the height of the scene. So we want to go to screen width and we want to drag that in for the higher value so that the food will show up some X value between 0 and the width of the screen. And we want to do the same for the Y, but in this case, it's the height. The height goes up and down. You think about your height is vertical, up and down. So we want the 10 to be actually the height of the screen. So we want to go back to scene and we want to get the screen height. Okay, so let's bring it over and put that screen height here. And that is going to allow the food to show up in some random location from 0 to screen width for the X and 0 to screen height for the height. So every time that you restart this game, the fish is just going to be in some random location. They're still going to be on the screen, just some random location, okay? One thing I forgot to do, I think I had in my instructions, let's make it a little prettier. You can change your background. I saw somebody had to go and come back. So we'll have a break in a minute and we can catch somebody up. But let's go add a little bit of background to it. I'm just going to use a plain color. Ooh, slow down. If you go back to scene, and I like to set my background before my characters, which I didn't do, but it's okay. Let's go to scene, and I'm just gonna do a standard color background. So I'm gonna set background color to, and I'm gonna drag that block, and it really can essentially go anywhere in that start, but just for the sake of my organization, I wanna set my background first, and then my characters. So when you drag that block, I would put it at the beginning of the start and click on that gray and just pick a color. Now, since I'm dealing with water, I'm going to make mine a light blue. So at this point, your code should look like this. But right now, we're not going to score any points. So we got to add another block to help it to earn the points. How are we doing? Not much more to go to get him to score some points. So I'm going to move my on game update just a little out of the way for right now, just so that I can show what's happening on my screen here. So I need another block that is going to check to see if my player and my food have collided. Okay, this is in the game. Let's see, no, this is in the sprites. I'm sorry, this is in sprites. So to see if two sprites collided, you want to go to the sprites menu. And then down, 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 there is this big block right here under the overlaps menu. And this is like a shell. Okay, so that doesn't connect inside the OnStart or in the OnGame update. This is going to be another shell that you're going to put somewhere in the blank area of your screen. So we need this shell here. And what we're trying to do with this one is we want to check to see if our player, so we have player here, is overlapped with the food, okay? So if the player overlaps the food, and just leave this sprite and this other sprite, leave those alone, okay? We don't need to do anything with those right now. So on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind food, we need it to do something. So, make sure I follow my directions better. Oh, okay, I'm on the next page. Oh, turn the page. Change the last drop down to food, which is what we did. All right, now let's go to info. Info, this stores information. It already has some variables to store your points and your lives and a timer and stuff that we're going to use. So we're going to go to info, and we're going to change our score by 1 each time. So let's go to info, change score by 1. So what's going to happen is this is going to check. This is constantly going to check to see if the player and the food overlap each other, and we'll gain a point when that happens. Now, I don't want to have to recreate this whole fish position again, okay? That was quite a task to get all those blocks that pick random, okay? So I really want y'all to just duplicate. It'll make it much easier if you just right-click on that last set position that you did for your food, duplicate it, and then put it after you change the score, so that way, did I make it too small for y'all? Okay, so that set position that we had up in the OnStart, we want to duplicate that block and put it in here. That way the fish is going to change to another random location after he changes his score. But here's the thing, guys. We've got to go back into every time we start this game, we need his point value to start at 0 each time when we start the game. So we got to do one more thing before we're ready to play. In the info, go back and set score. Get that block set score to 0. We want to set the score to 0 every time we start a new game. Now you should be able to play, and you won't have a timer yet, so you could score as much as you want now. You're not going to lose any lives. You're not going to be timed out. You could just sit here and catch as many fish as you want. Who's ready to share?
Me.
Cambria was first.
How do I share?
Stop sharing screen.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, Cambria.
How do I share?
Click on the green
Oh.
button. There you go.
So I'm making like a thing where you have to like get the candy, like it's trick or treat. It was inspired by this event that's going on in Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's so cute.
So you have to get the candy. I made the background and the candy sprite myself.
Denithia, are you recording this? Yes, you are recording it. Oh, we got to put this one up on YouTube. This is great.
We need to put them all up on YouTube.
No, I mean this whole session on YouTube. So I'm saying.
Yeah, you gotta show me how.
I haven't done the collide thing for the candy yet.
Lovely.
That is beautiful, Cambria.
Thank you. I always
Okay,
thought-
stop sharing
There
your
we
screen.
go.
Thank you. Danya, you are up next, ma'am. Awesome, Cambria. I am so proud of you, girl.
What happened?
Okay, did you stop sharing your screen, Adanya? I mean, Cambria. Okay, Adanya, you know what to do? Click on the green button. Hold on, Kelly. We'll get to you in a second after Layla shares her screen. Okay. All right, Adanya, what you got, girl? We can't hear you, Adanya.
I'm wondering, we have somebody who is behind and gotten left off. I was wondering maybe we could put a couple of volunteers in a breakout room with some people who need some catching up, maybe. Just a thought.
Okay.
I don't know.
If they would put their names, let me know which volunteer to put in the breakout room.
Any of my
One is
volunteers?
asking, where did you leave off?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to just give those instructions in a chat, so maybe they could go
You
into
must
a
have
breakout.
Some technical difficulties because I don't even see her here anymore.
Oh, who, Kelly?
Okay,
Or,
no, Adanya.
oh, okay.
Something. Okay, Layla Miller wanted to share hers.
Okay.
Trying to see.
Is it sure?
Got your timer and your lives working.
So I added a caveman to it, just because like cavemen aren't really used to all this type of stuff, so it just made it look really funny as well. And also like if you touch the caveman, you lose your lives.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh, wow, Layla.
And also if you press A, what is it? Oh no, if you press B, then you have a challenge kind of. So when you press it, you go up and you kind of have to shift yourself. So you keep going up. So you kind of have to keep pressing it down. So it's kind of like a harder challenge a little bit.
Oh, I love it.
This is so cool. Becky, this reminds me of Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Do you know that video game,
Yeah.
Donkey Kong?
Uh-huh.
I love it. That's so cool, Layla.
Thank you.
I didn't have sound in mine. How did you get that sound? Or is that
Well, I mean, it is things you can add, like the music, but I didn't add that. It just came with it.
oh.
I think.
Huh.
I don't know if
Oh,
it's
I see
something I
you
did.
right there. Okay, thank you, Layla. Okay, I think that Kelly is the one that needs to share her screen. She said she left off when you began to.
Adding food. Yeah, that's why I was thinking maybe we could have
put her in with someone.
Yeah, is there any of my volunteers, like maybe 2 or 3, that want to come together and help Kelly catch up with adding the food and then the
You say your volunteers?
Yeah, I have some of my student volunteers that are helping. So she needs to go all the way back to adding food and then learning how to collect the points. Where is it at?
Tell me the name of whom and okay.
Okay, so Carolina and Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put them in a room.
Yay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. How many minutes do you need?
I would say give them just, I don't know, about 5 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And we'll just share a little bit more for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anybody else want to share?
We have someone else that wants to catch up too.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting her in the breakout room.
Awesome.
Okay,
Who wants to share theirs? Entertain us. Show us how crazy your characters are.
Okay, is there anyone else? Anaya.
Anaya.
Okay.
Differentiation, Denithia. Woohoo!
I know. Okay, who was it? Samantha and
Samantha
who else?
and Carolina.
Carolina. Okay. Anaya, Zoe. Is there anyone else? Speak now or forever hold your peace that you need to go into a breakout room.
Since there's that many, maybe give them 10 minutes and we'll just sit here and show off for a minute.
Okay.
Because we got plenty of time.
Okay.
I'm going to go and show y'all my Scratch program then while we're waiting. If nobody else wants to.
Miss Fisher, can you hear me? I was gonna tell you if you could put me with like one or two other ones in a breakout room because I think like a lot of them are starting to like say that they need to catch up.
Oh, maybe another breakout room then?
Yeah.
All the ones that said they needed to catch up, I put them in one room already. Do you want me to put you in that room with them?
The reason I said like I think we should have like another room is because I feel like too many of them are going to be in there. It's going to take a while to like get through all of them.
Yeah, he's got a good point. Maybe move them to a separate room and Luis can help them.
That means I would have to close the room out and start over.
No, you can move them. You should be able to like reassign them. Like, I know I've done it. I just don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, because when I do it on my end, it just says to assign to that one room. Because otherwise,
but like you've already put them in there though, right?
Right, I've already put them in.
So then when you go,
that I assigned when I started the room.
Oh, okay. Well, just throw Luis in there. He'll help him out.
Yeah, they can work it out when you get in there.
So I thought maybe we could take a minute and I'll show you one that I did in Scratch last year that is similar to this that we're doing. And then there's another one that we did in my class that is like a Mario type. We called him Fabio. So let's see. And you know, if y'all want to learn how to get Scratch is a lot different than MakeCode, but it does have a lot more functionality and a lot cuter sprites. So it could be, you know, fun. Maybe in a future one we could do some of these. Okay, so here is Catch the Fish. So let's see. And I didn't have a timer on this one. I figured out how to do the timer in MakeCode, and I thought, hey, we're gonna add a timer. Oh, and also in this one though, the shark gets faster, so it gets harder. Let's see, how do I go into it? Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I needed to, okay. So I'm gonna play. And so I used a scuba diver, and he's trying to catch Nemo. Oh, but I've already gotten bit by the shark. And the shark gets faster as you're playing, and my scuba diver is moving really slow. Oh no, I only have 1 life left. And then when I press my left arrow key, my scuba actually turns around, scuba diver. And oh no, I'm dead. Game over. Oh, and also this one, if I catch 10 fish, then I win. So I have to catch 10 fish without losing 3 lives. Now, another really advanced one that we did, and this was in my AP class, which let's see if I could go back to my projects. Let's find
Ms. Fisher?
it all. Yeah.
It's not letting them share their screen inside the breakout room. It says the host has to give them permission.
Oh. So, but they were sharing in the regular.
Right.
That's weird. Do you know how to do that, Denithia? I didn't know that was a separate setting.
Nope.
Hmm.
Do you want to take what time is it? It's 11:23. Do you want to take a few minutes and bring them out and let them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I could just go back through it again.
Okay. Danya's back if she wanted to share her project.
Okay. Oh, Kelly never got put in a room.
He's in there now. I forgot.
Oh, you're bringing them back though, aren't you? Or
You want me to bring him back now?
well, if they can't share their screen, I don't know if they're able to help them much.
Okay. We could just take them a second at a time, maybe. It's closing now.
Oh, I can't wait till we can be back in person.
Okay, so I guess the first person that needs to share their screen is Kelly. So we can see what's going on with her.
Okay.
Kelly, can you share your screen? Thank you. What was the problem that you were having?
I figured out how to get the food, but I never figured out how to get the point.
Okay, so what you need is to go to the sprites menu. And then you want to go down good ways, and you're going to find a menu for overlaps right after projectiles, I think. Overlaps. You want that big blue block there that says on sprite of kind. Yep, you need that, and just put it in a blank space. And on the far right side of that block, change the last player on that last little box of it, change it to food. Now go to info on your menu. And choose change score by 1. Put that in there. Now go up to where in the on start block up there where you have that last block says set sprinkle donut position whatever, right click on the blue. So like right click on the word set, and then you want to duplicate. Duplicate it, and then drag that block right after change score by 1. Now one more thing, go back to info and do set score to 0. Put that inside your start block at the right after you set the position. So put back in the green block, the very last part of inside the green block. Yep, right there. And that should have you set. Who else? Don't throw that block away. Here you go. No, put that back. Yep, right there. Be careful moving those around. Who else needs help?
Amani Moore, can you share your screen? Amani M. Click on the green button. Let me send her chat. She may be having computer difficulties. We'll try to come back to her. Anaya, can you share your screen? Click on the green button. And then you're gonna hit the window in the top left-hand corner and click share. Anaya. Oh, she says I can't because I'm doing it on my computer. Yes, you can. Oh, and Zoom on my phone. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so Anaya, what I would suggest is in the email, I sent the PDF so that when you log up here, you can follow along. Okay, Danielle, can you share your screen? And I think Amani is doing the same thing. I think she was Zooming on her phone, so she can share. Okay.
I didn't
so
even
Amani,
think about
same
that.
thing. Yep, you have to click the PDF that I sent in the email so that way you can follow along when we get off the call.
Okay, so I need to see that code. If you could move those blocks or slider. Oh goodness. The code up in the OnStart, we need to fix some of that too. Who is this sharing?
Danielle.
Danielle. Okay. Danielle, what happened to it?
She's not sharing her screen anymore.
No, I don't know what happened.
Danielle, you're gonna have to go back and share your screen again.
She definitely had some things up in the OnStart that were not set properly that we needed to help with.
Okay, she said I can't move her character up and down.
Yeah. Maybe put Danielle in a breakout room with, that may have been the problem with not being able to share, was using a different thing for Zoom. So maybe Danielle could go into a breakout room with Samantha and Luis, Carolina, or Kenneth, or all of them. And they could help clean up her little on start menu because there was some stuff need to be cleaned up in that. I don't know. I want to at least add the countdown timer. The
Yeah.
before we
How's that?
go.
Can you send the thing to put me in the first breakout room again? Because it didn't pop up for me.
I think she
Okay.
brought everybody back, but
Yeah, I did. Hold on, that's
I-
wrong. I'm having issues today with this breakout room. Okay,
You-
let me just start over. I need to.
do you want to make me the host? And I can
Yes,
set it up.
absolutely, ma'am. Oh, she's not even here. How's Danielle?
Danielle?
Okay.
Oh. Uh-oh. All right, well, let's go ahead and then finish, and then we can, you know, maybe if people still need some help after, we can clean them up. All right, so let's go ahead and add the countdown timer. So if you're still having trouble with your player or your food, we can back up after we can add the countdown timer and see if we can help you. But this is actually kind of a separate feature. So I don't want everybody else to be waiting around. So we'll go ahead and finish the countdown timer. Oh, we got Danielle on.
Mrs.
Yeah, she just came back. There you go. Uh-oh, she was.
Excuse me, Miss Fisher.
What happened?
Yes, yes.
The breakout room like closed as soon as we got in there.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, Becky, you're the host now.
Oh, I'm the host. Okay, so we're
Yep.
gonna put Danielle in with them. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I gotta remember how to do this. And then a breakout room in a couple of weeks now. Breakout room 1. Do we still need? So it's already got set up right now. Zoe, do you want to be in the breakout room? How do I? Where's Danielle? There she is. Okay, let's put Danielle in there. So I've got Samantha, Louise, Carolina. I'm going to add Kenneth as my volunteer in there.
Change the time.
Okay. But Amani, Anaya, do y'all might be, you know, it might help you to see it, even if you can't share the screen. DJ and Charisse, Kelly Jones, Zoe. I guess I can make it so you can come back if you want. So move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. So you can return to the main session if you want to. I've got that setting. Breakout room close automatically after 10 minutes. Countdown. Okay, so I'm going to send you guys off on your own. And there we go. All right. Okay. Let's close that. And I need to share my screen now. Denethia, this is how my day goes all day long, every day. All this technology is just, woo, it's making me lose my mind lately. Okay, so we have our player, and we have our food, and the player is set to the center. The food is going to randomly show up in different locations. We're setting our score to 0. We have our background at blue. And the way that we check to see if we're going to score a point is if the player and the food overlap. It's going to change our score by 1. And we duplicated the position of the fish so that it picks another random location every time they overlap. And of course, back over here was our up, down, left, right. Okay. So now I'm going to add a countdown timer. So I'm just going to move this block out of my way for a moment. And we're going to go to info, and we want to, there's a section, so we have our score section, we have our life section that you'll use in the advanced part for the shark or whatever you use. There's a countdown session down here. And I need this on countdown, wait, start countdown. Okay. We need to start the countdown first. So when we start the program, we want to start a countdown. So it's defaulted to 10 seconds, but I'm going to give it 30 seconds. You can, customize your game how you want, but I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to get as many as I can. So again, that was info, start countdown at 30 seconds. And then I need to go and get this block that's going to handle what happens when that countdown ends. So I'm going to go back to info and scroll down to that countdown section. And this is a block shell of its own that's going to keep always checking to see if the countdown has ended. So when that countdown does end, we want the game to be over. So that's in the game controls. And we're going to drag in game over. And let's set it to win. So that way, when the 30 seconds is up, you're going to win no matter what. You're just trying to beat somebody else's score, or trying to beat your own best score. So it will store the best score every time. And that's all you had to do to add the countdown timer, just those 3 blocks. Just start the countdown at 30 seconds, and then when countdown ends, the game is over, and you want them to win, but, it'll show them how many points they got.
Miss Fisher?
Yes.
The screen sharing is still not available.
Okay. For none of them?
No, they said it's disabled. When I was trying to share my screen, it said host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Okay, let me see if I can figure that out. Breakouts. Enable.
Is that something that I would need to do in the settings on Zoom?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Since I'm the host, I'm going to see if it's something I can change now, but enable closed caption, new, participants, and play sound, nope. Security. So yeah, I'm not finding it. It must have been something set up with your Zoom when you first started it. So maybe next time we'll think about that. But because I can't find it. I know when my students have gone into breakout rooms, they've been able to share with each other.
Okay, I can see if I can try to do it.
Yeah, but it might have been something you had to have before you started it, because I'm not finding it. Well, I guess we can just bring them back in and then get them to share it here, and we can walk them all through it here, because the only other part is that advanced part, and they have the PDF if they want to learn how to do that. Because I'd rather get everybody at least have a successful game working. You don't necessarily have to have the advanced part, So we'll just force them all back in here. Let me see if I can do that. I'll just go into the breakout room. Let's see if I can jump in there and talk to them.
Hold on, guys.
Janathia, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Guess not.
Are you in the breakout room now?
I figured out how to get them to share the screen, but their timing was running out. So we're gonna try this one more time. I brought them back, but now I'm gonna put them back in with,
Time.
huh?
Change the time in your options.
Yeah, I couldn't change it once they were in. That's the problem, you know?
You have to do it before.
Yeah. So, all right, move all participants immediately. Allow participants to return to main session anytime. Breakout room closes automatically. We're just going to turn that part off. Countdown after closing break room. 60 seconds. Okay, so I changed the setting. Well, once I went in there, I was able to find the settings so that all participants could share in the breakout. So I'm going to open it back up for them. And then I'm going to, Denithia, if you could just have some folks sharing what they have right now while I'm going to just make sure they're okay in the breakout room, okay?
Adanya, are you still here? Let me see. Nope. Is there anyone else who wants to share? Type it in the chat if you want to share your screen. Okay, Cambria, you're on. Go on.
So I finished my game. There are no enemies, but there is a really strict time limit. So you gotta get the candy before it's game over. I don't know why it says 3 instead of 2, but and then if the time runs out, then it's game over.
Can you start it from the beginning?
Well, that is the beginning. It has a really strict time limit to make up for the fact that there are no enemies.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Malcolm, stop sharing your screen. Thank you, Cambria. Okay, Ms. Malcolm, you're up. Share your screen. Do you know how to share your screen? Click on the green button. There you go. Okay, walk us through. We can't hear you. Can you turn your, can you unmute? Unmute, Ms. Malcolm. Thank you, Layla. See you next month. Let me tell her to unmute. Look down at the bottom of the screen and hit your microphone. That will unmute you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Is this the same class?
Hold on, let me see who's talking. I can't see. Oh, Layla.
Yes.
Layla Miller, you're still here. Who was
Yeah.
talking? Oh, Katori. Okay. Okay, mute Katori. I'm sorry, Layla. Katori, what's going on? Katori, did you have a question? No, you're in the right class. This is the same class. They're sharing their video games. Anybody else want to share? Leah, do you want to share yours? Leah, do you want to share your screen? Raya, Michaela, Sydney, Trinity, anybody? Miss Malcolm, what happened to you sharing yours? Layla, you gonna share yours?
Layla Miller.
Layla Miller. Layla Medina is gone already.
Oh, I've already shared
Layla
mine.
Medina. Okay. Becky, no one else wants to share, so it's on you. We're about to wrap up. We can't hear you.
Darn. Okay, there we go. Now you can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so we have just 10 minutes left. I could run through very quickly how to add the enemy and lose lives. It's 26 different steps. It's all in the PDF. I feel like 10 minutes wouldn't be enough. But I do want you to take advantage of that. If you go and look at that PDF again and get to part 4, try to add that enemy and lose lives. It's all, you've got pictures to see how to do it. And yeah, because I just feel like we're going to run over. In my breakout room, I think they've got 3 people they're trying to help. Hopefully we'll get them up and going. But if nobody else wants to share what they have right now, I really want to show you all this other one that I did in Scratch. So speak up or in the chat. Okay, there we go. Or speak up in the chat if you really want to share or if you've got a pertinent question. Otherwise, I want to show you something else. Okay, then I will share. This is a good one. Okay, let's see. Let's go to. No, let's not do that. I can't remember how to do this. Hold on, sorry. Okay, share this and share this. Okay. I don't want all that. Okay, so we did this project last year in my AP computer science class, and this is what, oh, say what?
Can you make me the co-host? Someone was trying to get back in. I got an email.
Yeah. How do I do that?
I'll click on my name and go to more.
More and make host. Yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so In this game, we actually had up, down, left arrow, and AB, and we use binary code to determine, oh, this one's not the one that's gonna work though. Let me find the one that's working. That one's not the working one. Let's see. No. Maybe that is the working one. Remix 2. I don't know if it's gonna work. But it's checking to see if I'm pressing something. So if I use my left arrow, he walks that way. If I use my right arrow, let me make this bigger. He is walking this way. But if I do my left arrow and press the A key, it's saying things that he does. So if you look at my bit string, right in that center part says bit string, you can see that it's determining what key is being pressed, and it's creating a bit string. And so if I press multiple keys, then the bit string has 2 ones in it. And it's just, it's really cool way of keeping the code a little
Blah, 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 blah.
simple, Michaela. It makes the code a little simpler by just checking that string of characters instead of actually, if this key and this key, if this key and this key. Instead, it just looks at the one string to determine what is being done.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, Michaela, that's enough of that. But the students took this a whole nother level, and they were able to have, we called him Fabio. He was able to shoot fire, and they brought in other characters, and they were able. So this was a real fun activity that my students did last year in Scratch. And Scratch, again, they have a lot more backgrounds and characters that you can use that makes it a little bit more entertaining. So yeah, there was the scuba diver one, and then this Fabio, which is like Mario. But MakeCode was just what I loved about MakeCode was that when you actually create your code with block, you can click on JavaScript, and then you can see the actual text code behind everything that you did. And what's really cool is that the actual sprites that you created, if you were to look at the code for the sprites that you created, like this duck right here, if I click on this little icon, it's actually, no, that's not what we wanted. There was actually text that showed how, oh wait, maybe it's over here. Yeah, those 3 dots. So it's got actual code to show the shape of the duck, and it's got these hex codes to determine what that color is. And that's just kind of behind the scenes that you don't normally know about, but that is the actual real JavaScript code behind this. But yeah, we're able to do that. Yeah.
Excuse me, I think that Samaya, she wanted to know if she can share her game on another device. So I think Samaya, if you have if you can see the share capability at the bottom, do you see that?
Wait, I'm on my laptop and I didn't download Zoom on it, so I'm on my iPad with Zoom. So I was wondering if I could still share it, because I don't know.
Try it.
Oh, wait. I don't know what it would do though. Unless I put the camera on and show you through the camera on my iPad.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Becky, I'm so sorry. I'm just taking over.
Can you throw me into that breakout room so I can go check on those guys?
Did you make me the host? Okay, hold on. Which one to send? You have 2 on here.
There should be only one breakout.
No, which Becky? You have 2 pictures.
Oh, well, darn. Try the first one, maybe.
I can't share it. Never mind.
You can't share it. Oh, Samaya. Miss Rosales, do you want to share yours? Let's see what you got. Anybody? Nobody wants to share?
I'll share mine.
Thank you. You know how to share your screen? Click on the green button. And then click that first window in your left-hand corner and click share. Madison, I like your headphones. Madison Moon.
Thank you.
I love your headphones. Okay, Michaela, where are you? Oh, don't you just love this song? Okay, there you go. Ooh, nice, Michaela. Unmute,
Denise?
Michaela.
Okay. See, now it's not letting me.
That's good. Oh, it's so cool.
Okay.
That is awesome, Michaela.
Thank you. Okay, now stop sharing your screen.
So, Denise, it's 12 o'clock. I don't know, do we want to go ahead and wrap it up?
Yep, if you're ready to. Oh, she said, oh wait, is it okay if I don't want to share my ES? Katora, you don't have to share. No one has to share if they don't want to. That is perfectly fine. Did you want to take the other ones out of the breakout room?
I've already told them
since it's
to.
12?
I've already told them to come on back on their own. I think they should have.
Yeah, we might need to close them out.
Oh,
We gotta close them out.
you're doing that, right?
I can hang on for, for however long if they want to go on and, work theirs out if they can.
No, they don't. It was just the volunteers. There was one, Amani, but she wasn't responding. So.
Okay, it may be something wrong with her. No, she's having problems with her device.
Okay. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I did supply the PDF. I tried to throw that together as quickly as I could, and if there was errors in it, I do apologize because nobody proofed it for me. I threw that together super fast. And if you get to the part 4 where it's got the advanced, it looks like some of you were able to successfully do it, which is good, but I kind of got a little lazier at that point and didn't do as many screen captures. So it's, but the steps are there. And it looks like some of you were able to successfully go through it. So any critiquing of that directions would be great because I would like to use this in the future. But I hope y'all really, really enjoyed this, and I hope y'all take some time to play around with MakeCode and try some other things. There's actually, you can do projectiles, like you can throw things at something, there's actually tutorials on MakeCode that you could go through and try some things out yourself. I want to absolutely thank my volunteers for helping. You have been incredible, more so than you think. And I hope that y'all take something from this, and let's get that Computer Science Education Week planned out for December, and take the ideas you saw today, because we're going to make it a big week, okay? That's all I have to say.
Are we really? We're going to make a big week that week.
Well, Denise,
we're going to have a big week.
For my school, I want to reach out to the Norcross community. Y'all
Okay.
definitely need to do something in Conyers, but we got to kind of touch in our community too. So maybe we can work together.
Gotcha.
since it's virtual. Maybe we can work together on it. Yeah. But
I agree. Okay,
yeah.
y'all. Thank you guys for coming. Let me stop recording.
Ms. Fisher.
Yes, Kenneth.
I posted a attendance list in our